Hi students, welcome back to JA Personal Finance. We're in your last session, session 5, and today we're talking about just consumer protection, things that you can do to just be diligent about managing your finances. Let's think about a time, guys. Casey, Phil, welcome back. Give us an example of when maybe a financial loss occurred or could have been prevented or was protected by just some common risk management techniques that the students can implement.
Yeah, sure. So my example is a little more conventional and just in the terms of I had insurance when I needed it. So I worked in New York City for a number of years. I lived there when Hurricane Sandy came through and actually flooded the bottom half of the island of Manhattan. And I was fortunate enough to live in that part of the city, but also unfortunate that my apartment was entirely flooded and I was displaced for over a month. Because I had renter's insurance, I was covered for certain expenses, like any of my clothes that were damaged. They replaced those. Because I was displaced, I was given money to help kind of cover apartment costs for my temporary housing. Um, and it's a really reasonable charge. It's not very expensive to have renter's insurance. So once all of you are out of your parents' homes and on your own, I would highly encourage you to pick up renter's insurance. If you're renting, obviously homeowners insurance if you own, but it's a really simple way to ensure that you don't have an outsized loss due to some unforeseen event.
I think Casey hit a wonderful one, and that goes for health too. My wife had to go to the hospital, unforeseen, and what would have been astronomical, because hospitals are more expensive than your just day-to-day checkups, was cut down to a fraction of the total bill. But a word of advice would be to be cautious of the information that you give out. There are certain places that are trustworthy and will require your social security number, but any reputable financial institution will never ask you for that sort of stuff over the phone. Um, I think that's a good one. And there are scammers and phishers all over that are especially successful with older people. The world has become a lot more global, a lot more digital, and some of the old school practices where you would actually sign a pen to a piece of paper are becoming sort of antiquated. So just keep your guard up. I'm not saying don't trust anybody, because that's not how to live your life. But just be mindful and protect yourself. Insurance, I mean, that's probably the gold star. But that's a quick little take on it.
Yeah, I mean, great examples, whether it's home insurance, renters, auto health, other just good practices on having a solid password for accounts that you use online, we talked earlier about automation, using technology to your advantage in terms of alerts for different accounts, whether that's an insurance policy that you have or a credit card or debit card statement, just being proactive to monitor your expenses as you pay for those insurance costs, but also making sure that people aren't using your accounts to pay for things that aren't yours. Students, hopefully this has been helpful. This is our last session for JA Personal Finance. Thanks for joining us.